videos no and I win ya. All right. Yeah. It's a deep-rooted scourge on us as a people and on us as a society. And so this is a conversation that needs to be had in a very holistic manner. We are not going to have that conversation alone with Bonaventure. But since it's a collaboration of a lot of countries, we have the EU, we have the United States, we have the United Kingdom, it is only fair, say, Yebeko Ahumano, so we'll go on the phone lines. But we want to have a Zoom conversation with Octavia Lonita. She's the Vice President of Women for Cyber, all the way from Romania. Then her areas of operations are in Belgium, Romania, I mean, within the EU jurisdiction. Octavia, can you hear me?
Good morning, and thank you for the invitation.
How are you doing?
Well, that's fine. Waiting to hear the questions from your side, and happy to be here.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Great. Thank you for accepting our invitation. I welcome you to Amansan Television in Ghana, West Africa. All right, so let me move on to Romano Ramanti. He is an ethical hacker at Zurcher Canto Bank. He's a vice director and speaker at Switzerland, also from the EU region. Romano, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Hello everyone, so happy to be here.
Great. It's good to have you on the show. I welcome you to Amansan Television, also known as ATV, all the way from Ghana in West Africa. All right, so Octavia, I would want to start my questions with you since you are a woman, though I know that romance scam, when it comes to romance scams, it isn't only reserved for women. We've had men who have also been victims. But as a woman, let me ask you, Women for Cyber in Romania, what are some of the things you've been able to do to help fight against romance scam?
Well, actually, not fighting only a romance scam, but to promote awareness in general for all these types of threats. Because when we are talking about cybercrime, you might be surprised or not, but it is simply a traditional crime that has been moved into the digital world. So almost any crime we know, fraud, extortion, identity theft, romance scam, they can become cyber crime when it happens online. So this is what our association is doing, Women for Cyber Romania. We are making these scams known through our awareness programs in order to make people be aware of them. You asked me about a romance scam. So in the past, we used to hear about a man or a woman fooled by his or her lover. Now it is this global tendency of spending time on the internet, but the human desire to love and be loved remain the same. And so romance scams are growing because they exploit human emotions rather than technical vulnerabilities. Criminals create fake profiles on social media or dating platforms and build relationships with these victims. That is why initiatives like Women for Cyber Romania, like Cyber Secured Africa, are very, very important to fight against these cyber threats and treat them globally, because we know that they don't have boundaries, geographical boundaries, and they could happen to anyone connected to the internet.
Great. Octavia, let me ask you once again. Since you are a woman, what would you say should be the red flags, the things people should look out for? Now the internet is part of us. We almost do everything on the internet. I mean, most of our lives are lived on the internet, from our work to research, whether you're a student, whether in any capacity or form you find yourself on the internet. What are some of the things women especially need to look out for? When I go to Romano, I will also ask him his version of what men need to do to be able to protect themselves from being victims of romance scams. You mentioned creating awareness. Awareness in what forms or shape?
First of all, there are indeed some red flags that a woman could recognize. First of all, you are having a Facebook or even a WhatsApp account, and all of a sudden, somebody, or you are, let's say, in a group, in an online group, where you're sharing the same interests, and all of a sudden, a person from this group is starting to get in touch with you and to intrude your personal space, or even start a message with, "Hello, I love the way you're expressing your ideas. I think I love you. It might be a bit bold, but I think I love you." And then you start a conversation, and you are keep telling things, and from one day to another, you begin to be in trust with this person, and won't you do anything for this person that you love? Because at some point it might be the case when after, let's say, weeks or months, when they gain trust, your trust, they eventually ask for money, because this is romance can the most let's say highest purpose. They ask for money, often claiming a medical emergency, travel expenses to visit you, and you are the victim in this case, an urgent financial problem. Won't you do anything for the person you love? Today, look, I wear this gold chain. It is a family present from my grandmother. But if the person I found on internet, who seems to understand me better than anyone else, who is answering my need of being in touch with somebody when I spend so little time with real persons, when my entire life is between job and home, if this person would be in need and we both lack other resources, wouldn't it be an opportunity to sell this chain for money? Another example could be that I am, let's imagine, a manager for a huge industrial company, and I start mentioning things from my work to this person I love, and all of a sudden he starts asking me things, and he wants to hear more. So this could also be a red flag. Because it turned out to be that the only purpose of getting in touch with me was one related to industrial espionage. So these scams can be very convincing. So please pay attention to the all of the sudden meetings, all of the sudden interest of a person for you, because it might seem like a honeypot, but there's no honey in it. It's only the pot in the end.
It might seem like a honey pot, but there is no honey in that particular pot. Octavia, thank you so much. Now, I want to move on to Romano Ramanti. Romano, I'm sure you listened to what Octavia said. I mean, do men fall victim to romance scams? Yes. Is it like, when we look at it in percentage wise, is it females being more victims than men? What are some of the things men can also do to prevent themselves from being victims? And then I read up on you, and I've been told that you are a great authority when it comes to ransomware. You would also want to speak a little bit about ransomware. But first, let's look at a man's perspective when it comes to romance scam.
Sure. Yeah, I think so. Men and women, they fell on the same percentage victims of romance scam. I don't think there is a big gap in between, but men have the same problem. And if you look, for example, in Switzerland, there are a lot of studies about the ideal concept of a woman and the same of a man. So there are some ideal concepts that people have in mind. For example, I read a study here in Switzerland that say, what is the ideal woman? And the majority of the answer was, it is blonde with blue eyes. So, I'm sorry, but this is really what the people here think about the ideal woman. And if you, as a cyber criminal, are able to set up a profile that looks exactly like this one, then you have the first, let's say, hook already. Because you see, oh, this is the ideal woman, and I can get in chat with her. And then I think the biggest problem that we see here is that they really try to exploit these psychological vulnerabilities. And often they move really fast, so you see this rapid escalation because you receive phrases like, oh, I never felt like this way before, or you the only one who understands me, or I fall in love with you. So if you realize that these phrases are told very rapidly, and this already gives the man a feel of that it's needed, he's someone who is in love with him, and this is very easy to then fall victim of what happens then. And what we also see here is that very often the victims are then isolated from the family. So they really start to talk and saying, okay, now you don't have to talk to your friends, you don't have to talk to your children because they will bring you away from me. And this is also something that we experience here. So once you're a victim, you're isolated from the family, from the friends in order to really keep you away from them, because maybe they could tell you, oh no, you're a victim of a scam, so don't listen to them, and they really try to avoid this. So this is something that we already see. And maybe also to say, with generative AI, you can create profiles that goes exactly in this direction. So if you know that a man, for example, lost his blonde hair with blue eyes, then you can create a picture that looks exactly like this one, which makes it very easy for the cyber criminals to get the victims.
I see. All right. Let me ask. I was talking about ransomware. Does it play a role in romance scam, or that one is an entirely different thing altogether?
But from what we observed is that it's completely, these are two distinguished things. Okay. It is not that maybe someone will ask you ransom for this, so it's completely something different, but it's a big threat that we see in companies, so towards companies. Before we had a lot of ransom against private individuals, but nowadays it's really related to companies, exactly.
All right, let me go back to Octavia. Octavia, women who become victims of romance scams. You are in the Romania region. I mean, Women for Cyber. Have you had the opportunity to encounter some of these women? What are the stories they have shared with you? Are there any impressions? What are the effects they had to deal with? I mean, we read stories of people practically losing out on their pension monies and stuff. Are there stories like that you would want to share? Maybe one or two, and the resultant effects it had on these women?
I have not met such women in person, but we could read about their stories.
Okay.
It is often encountered that these women won't talk about what happened. And this is something that I want to touch here for this interview.
Okay.
It is indeed this reputational impact that you don't want to expose what happened to you for the fear of not being, let's say, disconsidered by others, or taking as a fool, and being more, hurt than you already are. So it is not often then women are talking about this romance. But on the internet, you can find their stories, and it is important that we are making these stories available, because it could be that the victim is in their 20s, let's say, but more often the attackers target victims after 40. So we are also talking about elderly people who are often targeted, because a woman in her maybe divorced, maybe with children, could be much more vulnerable than a woman in her 30, who is having much more trust in her beauty, in her charm, and in everything. So if this romance scam is based on emotional vulnerability, then you target a victim having this vulnerability.
Yeah.
So it's not. It's a scam who can include all the generations, and not only young people. Let's say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not only young people, but it looks like elderly people, just as you mentioned, a little vulnerable, because probably their children have grown up, they've moved out to start their own lives, they are on pension, they are living alone, so these ones become easy targets. There's a question I want to ask. We've had some of our young guys from Ghana, Africa, being extradited to the United States. I mean, some have huge monies, close to like $100 million of romance scam that they were able to extort from their victims. Per what you do, this one is still for you, Octavia. Is Africa, do you think Africa is becoming a hub for cybercrime?
I believe that cybercrime is a global issue.
Okay.
Cyber is not limited to one region. So I won't say that.
Okay.
At the same time, I'm happy to read that many African countries are investing heavily in cybersecurity. Countries like Ghana, like your country, are developing national cybersecurity strategies, cybercrime units, and digital awareness programs. They are starting collaborations from abroad, like the one between Women for Cyber Romania and Cyber Secured Africa. So these efforts are more important to strengthen trust and resilience in the digital economy, from my perspective.
Okay, Romano, let me ask you this one. How can companies protect themselves from ransomware? Not only companies, but individuals as well.
So I think the most important thing, so maybe we need to start earlier. So you have to assume that you will be attacked. So it's not a question, will I be attacked or not? So you have to assume that someday you will be attacked. And the problem is more, what are you going to do if you're attacked? So what are you going to do if you have a ransomware attack? And what we see is that companies often do not have a plan. So well, you have an employee that clicks on a link, and then the ransomware starts. And the problem then is that everything is encrypted, and the companies stay there and do not know what to do. And the first thing, so the most important thing is creating awareness among all the employees.
Okay.
So really telling them what happens, what are the threats that are there, what happens with ransomware. And then the second most important thing is you need to have a plan. So once everything is encrypted, you can just take this plan and say, okay, first step is I need to do this and this and this. Second step is doing this and this. And this is what often lacks. So companies are there, everything is encrypted, no one knows what to do. And often the first steps are the most important. And we see companies starting doing their own analysis, trying to delete malware and stuff like this. But the most important thing they forgot is maybe just put the cable off and let's say avoid that the malware is spread over the whole network. But you need to have a plan in order to know what to do when something happens. let's say you cannot, there is no receipt to say you can protect yourself by doing this and this. I think the most important thing is awareness through the employees. And there we have a lot of companies which do phishing tests for their employees. These are very important, but it's also very important to not blame the employee if he clicks on a link. It's really important to see why did this employee click on this link, and then you need to work on this. Because everything starts with a link that is sent to someone which clicks on these links, and then the ransomware attack starts.
So Romano, talking about links, how does one know this is a harmful link, I'm not supposed to click on it? Is there anything that we can use to determine whether this is a harmful link or not? What are some of the things we need to look out for?
Yeah, so you cannot determine if it is a harmful link or not. Sometimes you can just hover with the mouse and read the link itself. But we know nowadays that the link can be fake. You can set up a fake website that looks like a legitimate link. So we often see that there is a legitimate link, but if you click on it, you are redirected to another page, which is then the fraudulent web page. So you cannot directly see if it is a legitimate link or not.
Talking about cyber crime in general, what do you think governments should do? You are in the EU, Switzerland area. Octavia is in Romano, Belgium, EU area. Just as Octavia said, it is a global thing. Cyber or romance crime or fraud isn't just limited to one country. What do you think governments should do to be able to fight it well?
So what they really need to do is to enforce the complete information sharing, because what we see is often that you have information about a cybercrime. You know who the threat actor is, and you want to exchange this information cross-border, but there are regulations which limits you from sharing this information. And I think governments should really enforce this. The collaboration between countries needs to be more there. Nowadays we have problems that countries cannot collaborate, or maybe that there are no ways to collaborate. And I think governments should really enforce this, because this is what is currently lacking. We have no regulation that allows us to exchange information with other countries. Now with the PSR, which is coming in the EU, there is a legal ground to share information, but there are a lot of other problems behind. So I think that the most important thing, government should enforce the collaboration between countries and information sharing. This is the most important thing.
All right.
Because if you have...
No, I want you to wrap up on that. Our time is almost up, but let me give you 1 minute to wrap up on what you were saying. Yeah, I want you to continue, yes.
No problem. So this is basically wrapping up. We need the legal basis, the endorsement of all the governments, and also the commitment from the governments to work together if you want to combat cybercrime. Because cybercriminals do the same. They work across countries, across borders together, and we need to do the same if you want to combat cybercrime.
All right, thank you so much, Romano. Octavia, 1 minute. I would want you to give us your final bite on this romance camp. It's a very long conversation, and I'm sure we will get the opportunity to do it again. But wrapping up on the conversation in just 1 minute, let us know. Do you have any admonition for women, for girls, for men, anyone at all? Because we are saying that cybercrime, romance scam, everyone is at risk.
Like I said, there is no age for this kind of scams. Even a child can become a victim if it's using the internet. So that is why, firstly, governments play a key role in education and in prevention.
Okay.
Cyber awareness should start in schools, so children learn safe digital behavior early. But adults also need training, because cyber scams affect people of all ages. How often these scams can take place? They can happen every day around the world. So there is no recipe for that. Unfortunately, criminals can send thousands of messages or calls at once. And even if only a few people respond, the scam can be profitable. We must understand that cybercrime does not target only large companies or wealthy individuals, but anyone connected to the internet can become a target. Okay. Therefore, we need to protect our children, and we need to protect ourselves by paying a bit of attention, not to click link, and paying attention on people who are from the beginning more kind than they should be, more familiar with us than they should be.
Okay, Octavia, Lonita, thank you so much. I have enjoyed the conversation. Just as I said, we are definitely going to do this again. So thank you so much for your time. Octavia Lonita is the Vice President, Women for Cyber Romania. Her area of operations is in Belgium, Romania, that is in the EU region. Thank you so much. And then I also had Romano Ramanti. He's an ethical hacker at Zushare Cantonal Bank, Vice Director, Speaker, Switzerland, EU. All right, Ebusiafo, so let's turn back to the conversation in the studio with Bonaventure. Alright, so Bona Ewo Ahano say Bonaventure Amaya, founder and CEO Dema Cyber Secured Africa, or also a certified cyber fraud investigator, CSI strategic stakeholder, EU initiatives. Mini abemano ni post to some papa or your small children. Bona Boko Yeda Unyankupon ase for the benefit of Yenianwa and Koma Idiwa Humano Sono Ebia 1 Tiasieno, we would further break it down because a cyber crime.
Okay, so when we talk about cybercrime, it's actually any crime that is facilitated by the use of the internet. So it could be an email that comes through, or just a normal transaction that goes through using credit card information or banking processing. Any data that is stolen or leaked through the usage of the internet is what defines cybercrime. In other words, the things we do online which constitute to an offense and is punishable by law is what is termed as cybercrime. And niyama yeye ewo abefo atentefidie no so etiamra na ehun sa wa sotwe no eno ne friend cybercrime.
Mami emisa say yakase cybercrime and niyama be my examples.
Me das se obisa question. Cybercrime there edoso ebi ni say your romance scam, your money laundering, your ransomware attacks, your social engineering. But then the CC di mo akotini pa e ha dwen pa no romance scam and a money laundering no.
Romance scam no ye dey.
Okay, so say you can say romance scam eno no ye odo a ewo abefo atentafidie no so enye no kre. Enipa boni fu bia fa so a omode bo apo. So people, what they do is normally that they log on to a dating site claiming that they are single, and then on their profile normally you see that they tell you they are doctors or they work with the military. They biano omu yusu high profile professions.
No one yajidie wo omu.
No one yajidie. And he said, "Onya the target now. The next step is that they build trust. Trust. So once that trust is built, they find ways and means to isolate you from people. And the anonymous and Obeka say, oh, and country me person be able relationship expose me because of a jumana me and to find ways and means to isolate you from people. Because I won't be doing command. Obi bet me akachiro say, oh no, bet me my tip say, only pay only didn't come away, and you be a woman anyway, so they try to isolate you from people and then manipulate you. So once that trust is built, they now ask you for money or start demanding favors.
That is what saying. Reasons maybe I have more money. Beat say na no make kind ba kubia or say you were free no one aba na say Germany credit card. There's a problem with it. It's lady no manu or say 50,000 on finding near from port or beton cars or ton cars na or the na de be man just or the who say woman no e was scapa or the denisa my menity and I be 150,000 a cop.
Yeah.
Are these some of the reasons? Are these some of their modus operandi?
Yeah, of course. Their ways are many. Of course, sometimes they send an example now. Mine, if you also meet me a catch or say, oh, baby, I me want me country, I me want me so jenny. You transfer me to Afghanistan. So, all the time, no. Or be making sure say baby or one the location or bet you say
friend.
On your juma or bet you say baby, I me want to say be Ghana hana meti but enya hana me adwuma ya transfer me eko ebia o man foforo so so e bo so betimi aka kire say o ebia hana me wo but then me wo goodie bi mo property bi a me pese wo invest
sa
yeah enti omo ways need edoso.
Okay. My answer the latest cybercrime. You mentioned money laundering and a romance scam. Boys, no, then motivate woman. Then Tina also say Emma Sadi Costro, unemployment, greed, and as a nipa boni some keke.
I won't say unemployment, but then it's because of the advancement of technology.
Okay.
This is here we are economy. And when you look at the introduction of artificial intelligence, it means one nipa mamuti midi AI ye nimo bebre. And as I see also no social media platforms are those. Dating platforms are those. And you nipa no so no ehia o dating site wa. Once a red flag, ade di kan obeka kire on say, oh, ebi amekra no me ba platform ni so nche enti ebe ya nka metime nya WhatsApp number now you are connected on they have once the first thing they want to do is to move you from where they met you. This is because our platform nankasana no they also have people monitoring people like us. Sometimes we are hired to protect digital platforms and so on him say even though say ultimately finding ways and means ultimately use AI and they bypass verification because some most of these dating platforms when you are logging on you have to be verified.
Yeah. But
because of artificial intelligence they are able to insert fake pictures and all that.
Yeah.
Or bypass some stage in Ukraine and come be around Woody our platform no there are people monitoring. Say crime because of our platform
they move them away.
That is the first thing. Say if you been your coin and manipulate you here. Into movie wa nejumanesi nefe den komona chassis na bisa ho se obi a wo share no be 3 days 4 days all of a sudden me do pa mi hu osuba na osuba ma da you know they love quickly.
Yeah.
How can you just meet me online for a few weeks and then all of a sudden you love me? And
I'm told say elderly people are the target. Why do you think it is so? Because is it because they are lonely, they feel isolated? What are the reasons in targeting elderly people?
Elderly people, no one says the way our technology grew no. Most of them are not familiar with it. Most of them are not familiar with it. When you say we crowd me a video call, a video call no crano.
Right. Based on that, no, no, video be I say fake video call. I never knew. I thought say ube authenticate obi a genuineness and I say if you want my no be after akusia me I hacking me phone and my phone I me hereska in order to reaffirm say nipa na say my fro then you call no who nipa no say fake video calls in abem.
Right. Yeah.
I mean who am mobile. Yanko hwe ne emra. a fake video call. Was video there? Many money, and then a fake money.
Use software. AI na ne bo mo with me use it me the create some fake video no. Enti wo hwa brand here na wo se wono ankasa wa face software no. O de nanim hwe camera no. Baby a amake no. Wa ko pick nipa na o use no e wo wherever o share victim no. Ni video na all player or pretend say onu na nipa no.
Sir,
yeah.
It's the person you see in the video, no, and you don't know a video call.
And onu jinechire, and I'm picking the funny video, no.
Hey,
yeah.
They can have conversations, pepe. How?
We get cases all the time, particularly.
This is serious, oh.
Recently, Lady be reaching out. Also, on your brand TB, Edin Como, Nanipanese or Canada. Na. Oni nipa ne di nkomwa ne du se nipa ne se o se o mane ne ni mebi na niema no befa kumase e na aba na oni nipa ne so ye video a video call no ni timu ntire no enti opese me o de me hwa de ma no I'm say okay, why not enti o the video ni kire me or screen record a gentleman me hwa video na me kan say look at the video very well. Once a system biano your vulnerability,
yeah.
No matter what, you can never be. There are vulnerabilities in systems. We very well. On one video call, no. What do you say? I say a channel, black, a crowd move. You have to take critical look. But once elderly people, no, or mono service and American, they are not familiar with all these things, so they tend to become more vulnerable, and most of them are also lonely. And I know, nipa boni for no mo say oh. And Cocrafone and Brewafono, most of them are also on pension. They are Bosumi Biano,
Obeji Bibi. And Mema, one more a year, sir, Adi, you were referring to Abu Trika and then Crawford. I'm told, sir, it's a syndicate. Now, one, especially those who engage in your friends say this cybercrime one man for to talk us and they was you me wo sika bia be pese me tua na emomu no wo fa wo bank account e mame na ye tua gumu a ebia say $500,000 a wo de ye 50,000 and now wo de say eno so chicheche mu kakra na ye nye aware of it.
Okay, na o say no it takes us through that is the money laundering stage.
And you money
laundering stage, yeah. After the romance scam,
Sikana ban.
You know. Once a romance scam, no, or that one unya GDN we now we say, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to send you the money. But then once the area who say, or no victim, no, who say, oh, Sebi, me do for me shiano, me buano. So, but until they get to know that it is a scam, right? So once you accept that you will send the money to them, they take you through the 3 stages of money laundering, of which I call the PLI: placement, layering, and then integration. So with the placement stage, this is where they introduce some financial institutions to you that okay, Sikano you send it through cryptocurrency or Bitcoin or through this particular bank. Say Ujitumwa. Then they move you to the second stage, which is the layering.
And also
now the layering stage, no, we can be affected. Onipani can send Sikano atu platform no modemana. Then the layering stage, no, is where they can push the money to a layman no. Oh, how met me a say, oh. Me pacho na me seni sika amobi ena me say number no sika na maseni ama enti me pacho ubetimi aseni me sika ama me back first no ubehwa na sika ni nim but sisi no ubehwa na sika ni account nim
bank account and answer umumu
na sika no o maseni sika no because look, they have people that they are working with. Unfortunately, some of them
they are with the telcos,
some of them are in the bank, yes. So they give out their account numbers. Now, that's a question we need to ask ourselves. When someone calls you to tell you that, oh, mistakenly they sent funds to you, what do you do?
I was call bank. You need to go to your bank.
That is the right thing to do.
Eh.
That is the right thing. But do you know, sir, many people do not have time to do this. Immediately, no one will say, oh, I'm going to send this scanner to account anymore, so I'm going to send the money back. You need to ask yourself that after sending the money,
there's a trail.
Yes, after sending the money, the victim who was defrauded. So, but like they said, no, I didn't wear a scam. Now, send the report here. You will be arrested. However, if the money that was sent to you was stolen from a credit card, when the owner of that credit card also reports to their financial institution, what happens is that there's going to be a reversal. Now, say when you send this kind of money, when I was sending me any paponini. Now, say, tracy no say, the money was actually sent to your account before you sent it to me. When they do the reversal, what are the electronic?
What?
Whatever you see, because one as you can do, come then a account. It's one, you lose money, and then you are also called to bar to come and answer questions.
You are an accessory.
That is the point.
Wow.
That is how the money laundering works. Now, you have integration now. Sikana far avenues when you know. When you say Sikana still, it doesn't get to them straightforward.
Sir.
Hey, it doesn't still get to them straightforward. We shall follow cases now. Your cases here now. So the integration stages, when the money is transferred to your account, now you also send the money back, but it does not come to me straight. What they do is that they move to companies, they move to banks, and they invest this money into businesses. Into who will be say, oh, I'm into real estate business. Who will be say, one of our address if you're a company way. Who will be say, oh, will be a
restaurant.
Exactly.
And say I say restaurants be a close to close no and yeah you may be.
Yes. Into yeah you wait and you want to say, oh, as soon as they say oh no you want to say oh yeah you and now running company way will be a total filling station way. But then the source. But because to me got to shares, company shares. It's profit every few more banner and no one will say or the better car, no the others or the to acquire properties.
Wow.
And wow. It is a kind of more direct. It passes through all these stages before it gets to them.
The better near boy who buy.
In terms of romance scam, say Ushia will be our dating platform. Na say Onipano Prekopena or say oh you bet me free ako another platform so now, how do me no me cry in new on the app? That's that as a red flag. And then secondly, do not send money to anyone you've not met in person before. Do not. Obia will share that just online. Now I'm prekopena 130 ABC Osika. Me can't say be in hosa, but we have to be very careful. And then thirdly, we share it online. So who person one friend e be a video call or no what time or person video call no or person because of the software that they are using. Then be no be share say oh e be na my busy my say enti mama fro time way. The fact that you are doing a video call with a person does not mean the person is legit. You should see that as a red flag. All the time they have excuses. The time behind they will try to tell you do not speak to people. Why would you want to be in a relationship with someone and still hide from people? So these are the things you need.
You don't have anything to hide. Why are you hiding it?
That is the point. When you see these signs, you need to quickly advise yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bona yemfa nkomo no ensi ha. Bibi fufuro wi apesa one Ghana for eche no ma wano nko ansa na asori afijuma die no so.
Kakra meka and say cyber security should be a topic taught in all institutions. You should start from high schools, from the junior level to the secondary school, and then to the universities. We need to continue raising awareness on the dangers of cybercrime. All security agencies, the government bodies, all institutions need to collaborate And then together, I believe we can all fight and combat cybercrime because the people are painting me. Yeah.
Yo. Yada se pase ubai waba mama yencheche. You best to nsafro no waba because I know say you have a lot up your sleeve. I will pese uni yen ebeche. Bonaventure ama a founder and CEO Edema Cyber Security Africa or a certified cyber fraud investigator. Obiwo ejumebi ebi or cyber issues be no pese u check mana. Would you want to give out your number? Ana bibi we pese odo number to betuja. You any aboma yen yanko.
You can just reach us via WhatsApp +233 024 775 4389. +233 024 775 4389.
All right, Bona, thank you so much for coming. A very big thank you goes to Romano Ramanti, ethical hacker at Zurcher Cantonal Bank, Vice Director, Speaker, Switzerland, EU regions for Ena Oye Nejuma. And then let me also say a very big thank you to Octavia Leonita, Vice President Women for Cyber in Romania. Her areas of operations are Belgium and the Romania EU locality. Ebusia aha any edijumedi you know ni nyina AC edama se pa samojemre na mo share ye best stress obekoso ama efidie no ada Amansan television midi Eddie Victoria be koda so frame akosia Chicago the ebe sign e share bi makramo. Have a good morning.